Alors, mes amis, nous sommes ici aujourd'hui. We're here today to unfortunately say goodbye to Emile Sigouin. And to start this celebration of his life, we will start with the first song. I'm sure that all of you today, you have very fond memories of Emile. And as we listen to this first song, we will think of him. On va penser à lui et tous les beaux souvenirs. Oh, that's okay. My fan club is here.
Early morning, there's a message on my phone. It's my mother saying, darling, please come home. I fear the worst, but how could you leave us all behind? There's so much to say, but there's so little time. So how do I say goodbye to someone who's been with me for my whole damn life? You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. See your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye when I couldn't? You always saw the best in me. Right or wrong, you were always on my side. But I'm scared of what life without you's like. And I saw the way she looked into your eyes. And I promise if you go, I will make sure she's alright. So how do I say goodbye to someone who's been with me for my whole damn life? You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. See your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye? And there's no way you could ever let me down. Gonna steal some time and start again. You'll always be my closest friend. And someday we're gonna make it out. Just hold the light. Just hold the light high, high. So how do I say goodbye to someone who's been with me for my whole damn life? You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. I see your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye? So how do I say goodbye?
So, my friends, we're gathered here today to unfortunately say goodbye to Emile Sigouin, whose life has come to an end. As this is a very sad moment, very tragic moment, words are just not sufficient. Words are very inadequate. But you know, despite your pain, despite your sorrow, we have to believe that after death, there's a new life. Otherwise, death makes no sense at all, and life makes no sense at all. So as we say goodbye here today to Emile, we have to believe that now he's being reunited with those who have left before. He's reunited with Lorraine up there, eh? There's a big party up there tonight, okay? You know, lately we talk a lot about the coronavirus up there. There's no virus, but there's going to be a lot of corona beer, okay? They'll be able to celebrate this new life. So as we gather here today to say goodbye to Emile, and also, good Lord, now to welcome him, I will start with an opening prayer. God of mercy and consolation, you are the Lord of the living and the dead. In you alone is final life and meaning. Lord, today life has come to an end for Emile Sigouin. Today, our hearts are broken. But despite our pain, despite our sorrow, we do thank you, Lord, for the life and the blessings that you have given to Emile in this world. So to start with the first reading, the Psalm 23, I'm going to ask Marie to come up, please. Would you join me? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. The Lord is my shepherd. There is nothing I shall want. The Lord is my shepherd. There is nothing I shall want. Fresh and green are the pastures where he gives me repose. Near restful waters, he leads me to revive my dropping spirit.
So the response is, the Lord
is my shepherd.
There is nothing I shall want.
He guides me along the right path. He is true to his name. If I should walk in the valley of darkness, no evil would I fear. You are there with your crook and your staff. With these I give you my comfort. The Lord is my shepherd.
There's nothing I shall want.
You have prepared a banquet for me in the sight of my foes. My head you have anointed with oil. My cup is overflowing. The Lord is my shepherd. Thing I shall want. Surely goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life. Surely goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life. In the Lord's own house shall I dwell forever and ever.
The Lord is my shepherd. There's nothing
Thing I shall want. Thank you.
Maurice, will you be joining me for the reading? So I invite Maurice now to do the second reading.
This is the excerpt from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. We all strive for the best gifts in life, but I will show you a better way. If I speak all the languages in the world and do not have love, I would only be making noise. If I give away all my possessions, my wealth to the poor, but do not have love, I am nothing. Love is very patient and kind. Love is never envious. Love is never boastful. Love does not rejoice in what is painful or harmful. Love does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in what is true. Love believes all things. Love endures all things. Love never ends. The love of Emile does not stop with death. Love never ends. Love does not have an expiry date like a driver's license or a Medicare card. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Maurice, and reading the second text. And thanks very much, Marie, for reading the first text, making this celebration even more significant as we say goodbye today to Emile. So to be able to commend his soul to the good Lord and do the blessings later, I will now do the reading of the Gospel of John. Et I'm going to ask you once more, would you please rise? Veuillez vous lever pour quelques instants. The Lord be with you, and also with you. A reading from the Gospel according to John. Glory to you, Lord. Jesus said to his disciples, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God and trust in me. There are many rooms in my Father's house. If there were not, I would have told you so. I'm now going to prepare a place for you, and after I've gone and prepared you a place, I shall return to take you with me. The gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Please be seated. Thank you. My dear friends, I'm sure that all of you today, you have very fond memories of Emile Sigouin. Alors, je suis convaincu que toutes vous tous ici aujourd'hui, vous avez de beaux souvenirs d'Emile. So, to make this celebration most significant, I'm going to ask Jim to come up and join me to pay tribute to Emile.
So I'm Jim Turner. For most of the people probably on this side, I'm Jim Turner. For most of the people on this side, I'm Jimmy Turner.
Hey, Jimmy Turner.
That being said, to me it's not Emile, it's Uncle Emile. It was Uncle Emile and Aunt Lorraine. I've got an allergy, that's why I'm tearing up, sorry. No. When I think of Uncle Emile, I think of fun. Actually, I was talking to my brother about a half hour ago just to tell him to be able to watch this, and he spoke to Marie real quick, and he said, yeah, he says, you know what, I remember Uncle Emile. He says, he was my favorite uncle. He says, anytime it was Uncle Emile, he says, it was always fun and a laugh. And that was Uncle Emile. I remember growing up when we were little, Uncle Emile and Aunt Lorraine would come over for a visit in the evenings or whatever. And I remember us kids would finally, 8, 9 o'clock, we'd be going to bed. And Uncle Emile and Aunt Lorraine and Mom and Dad would start playing Flinch. It's a card game. And you've got cards from 1 to 15 and from 15 to 1. And you have to make suits, and whoever gets rid of their pile first wins. And I remember being in a room, we just knew it was going to be fun, because in about half an hour, we'd hear my mom or Aunt Lorraine starting to yell, "What are you doing? You cheated." Says, "No, I didn't." Says, "You did so. Where'd you get that card?" And Uncle Emile would always take a 1 or a 15 and he'd hide it under his lap, and he would pretend that he dropped the cards and he'd pick it up and he would finish and they'd win the game. It was the guys against the girls. And that was Uncle Emile. They used to, almost every time they come over, they'd play Flinch, and Uncle Emile would be cheating on purpose. Yeah, it was hilarious. So I remember another memory when we lived on the river. We lived on the Rideau River out past Manotick, and we were fishing, and Uncle Emile loved fishing. You see all the pictures. And it was getting late in the evening, and Uncle Emile was sitting with a lawn chair right on the riverbank, like we had a wall on the river, and he was catfishing. You just take a bobber and a hook, put a worm on it, and you throw it out in the water from here to those chairs, and you just let it sit. Next thing you know, you get a catfish. So we're out there catfishing, and finally it was time for us kids to go to bed, and Uncle Emile was still out there fishing. Yeah, I think he had a flashlight. So the next morning I woke up, and I got up and I looked outside, and Uncle Emile got up early and was back out there fishing again. I thought, man, he's really enjoying this. I went outside and I went there, and he had a 5-gallon bucket beside his chair, and it was literally full, overflowing, and there were catfish on the ground. I said, "Uncle Emile, what time did you get up?" He says, "I didn't get up." "What do you mean?" He had stayed out there all night until the next morning. He was still out there catching catfish, and he taught me how to skin catfish with 2 pair of pliers. And to this day, I think catfish are still the best eating fish. I remember that as a kid back in the early 70s. So now we fast forward 30 or 40 years. I've moved away. I left Ottawa when I was 18, and we moved to northwestern Ontario. And Uncle Emile and Aunt Lorraine came for a visit. Uncle Charlie and Priscilla, they've been there, came for a visit out there. So Uncle Emile and Aunt Lorraine came for a visit, and I was guiding houseboats at the time. I did that for 22 years on the lake. So I got a houseboat, and we took a houseboat for a long weekend and went fishing and brought my mom and dad and Uncle Emile and Aunt Lorraine, and I think my brother. We were all out there and we were fishing. And this is no word of a lie. We fished for 5 days, and Uncle Emile did not catch one fish. Not one walleye. We still, to this day, we used to talk about it. He did not catch a fish, and I teased the heck out of him. How come he never caught? He might have caught a jackfish, a pike, but he did not catch a walleye. That whole, and this is important. This story I'll tell you in a bit. So now we fast forward to around 2009, 2010. My dad was ill, and I leased my house, and we came to live in Ottawa for a couple of years until my dad passed away. And in that time, Uncle Emile was going hunting, and I was into hunting because being in northwestern Ontario, and we went with Mario and some others, and we went fishing to went hunting to North Bay. So I'm in a poplar tree, probably as high as a ceiling and probably 10 feet higher. I was probably 35 feet up in a big poplar. So we'd all set up, and we all had a plan where everybody was going to sit. There was this big slash, and I had a tree stand, but it was a climbing tree stand. So you put the first part of it on, and then you put the second part on your hook on your feet, and you use it to climb up the tree with the tree stand till you get to the height. Then you set it up and you hunt. So if you know hunting, you have to start at daybreak, and you're there right till sunset. So we all had a plan where we were going to be. And I remember being up there, and I took my sandwich out of my pack sack, had hooked on a branch there beside me, and my sandwich dropped to the ground. And I was not going to climb back down, and luckily I had some string, and I can't remember what. I was able to fish my sandwich back up, and I stayed up there vigilantly waiting to see if something would come out. And probably 20 minutes before sunset, I heard a huge crashing in the bush, and I knew Uncle Emile was down that way down the road about a half a mile, and Mario was over here, and I could hear this crashing through the bush, and it was an animal. I'm guessing it was a moose. I could hear branches breaking and crashing, and I was waiting, anticipating, and nothing came out. But I was excited. You got buck fever. Well, I wonder what, So finally it got to the point where now it was dark, and now I'm climbing down with a headlamp and in the dark, and I can't wait to get to those guys and say, did you hear anything? So I finally get down and get all my stuff together, my pack sack on my back, I'm carrying my tree stand, and I get to where the vehicles are. It was about 3/4 of a mile, and I get to the parking lot where we were all parked. There were like 3 vehicles, and the only vehicle that's there is mine. And what the heck? And I said, where are those guys? So I loaded up, and I headed back to the cabin. I got to the cabin, and they were all in there having supper. They had a hot meal going and everything, and I said, didn't you guys hear that crashing in the bush? I said, no. When did you get it? Oh, we've been here about 2 hours ago. Oh, well, whatever. So when I was in Ottawa, I got a bit of midlife crisis, and I took my half-ton and I traded it in for a Dodge Challenger, brand new, 2009. So I went to South Bank and I bought a Challenger, and that was, I literally polished that car every 2 days, went to car shows all around town, to the A&Ws. Anyways, it came time to go to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, about an 8-hour drive. They have what they call Mopar Week. And Dad couldn't go, he was too ill, so I asked Uncle Emile, you want to go to Mopar? He said, what's that? I said, it's a thing. And I knew Uncle Emile loved driving. We all know that. He would drive thousands of miles in a week. So I said, going to Mopar, you want to come? He said, sure. So away we went, drove down there, had a great time, got a bed and breakfast. The pictures that you see up there, I don't even know where it is. It was on some mountain in Pennsylvania. But anyways, we were in Mopar Week. While I was there, they had a tent there, and they were doing MagnaFlow exhaust. So I just thought, oh, what the heck. So I brought my car in there, I dynoed it, and then I went into the next day to the tent, and I can't remember what it was, a couple $1,000. They cut all my exhaust off my car, which was brand new, and put a MagnaFlow exhaust on it. The next day I went back on the dyno, and I gained 10 horsepower with that car. And I was all excited. And we watched a burnout competition. We had a great week. So we're on our way home. We're on the 401. We're somewhere east of Brockville on the 401, coming from Pennsylvania, from Montreal, somewhere down there in the east. And we're driving along the highway, and I just got in my head, man, I want to see what this thing's really going to do. And this car had what they call V-rated tires. So they were tires that are good like to 150 miles an hour. So I looked at Uncle Emile, and all of a sudden I just thought in my head, I just didn't tell him, I took an off ramp. We're in the middle of nowhere in farm country. And we pulled off the ramp and got in, and I started searching around, and finally I saw this long straight road. It was in farm country. I've never told anybody, there's no young drivers in here, doesn't look like. I don't see any law enforcement. It was this big long road that went forever. It went for like 2 miles, and it was just cornfields on either side, and it was a paved highway. And I looked at Uncle Emile and I said, hey, Uncle Emile, why don't we see what this thing will do? And he looked at me, and he never said no, and he never said yes. He just looked at me and gave me kind of his sneaky smile, and I figured, okay, we're good to go. So we did that, and no word of a lie, I was doing 265 kilometers an hour. The hydro poles were going by like fence posts. And that's like 164. I did a car around NASCAR, and it was 151 miles an hour. I've got a certificate and everything, but this was faster than that. I did 164 miles an hour in that car. Just the other day, before I was going to tell this story, I went and looked at V-rated tires, and a V-rated tire is rated to 149 miles an hour, and we did 164. So we're lucky we're here, probably. So Mom moved from Ottawa to Thunder Bay, and Uncle Emile came to help. He drove a U-Haul, him and I, and drove him back. He liked driving. And while he was there, I said, well, Uncle Emile, now you're in Thunder Bay. He says, you need to come another 4 hours to Sioux Lookout, and we'll take you fishing. I said, I want to go fishing, take you to get some fish, thinking about when they came in the houseboat, never caught fish. He said yes. So I looked at the pictures just the other day, and that was on May 20th. So on May 20th, we went out fishing with my son and my grandson. We went out, and there's a picture there. We got, I don't know what we got, 24 or 30 fish. We killed it, and had a great time. 4 days later, I look, there's another picture. It's the same weekend, May 24th, May 20th, May 24th. My other son lives in Red Lake, which is another 3.5 hours north again. We went up there, and we went fishing again, and we caught another load of fish. So Uncle Emile liked what he was doing, and we always had fun with him. It's a sad time right now. He's gone, but we've all got memories. Everyone's got a memory in their head somewhere of good times we had. And when I think of Uncle Emile, I think of fun, and that's, I've got those pictures, and that's what I'm going to remember about him. Going to miss him.
Thanks very much, Jim, sharing with us some of those fun stories, some fun memories as well. I'm sure that all of you as well, like Jim just mentioned, you two probably have very fun memories of Uncle Emile. So what we're going to do, we're going to listen to a song, and as we listen to the song, we will think of Emile and all those fun memories. On va penser à Emile, on va penser à tous les bons moments et tous les beaux souvenirs.
No, I can't forget this evening or your face as you were leaving, but I guess that's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows. No, I can't forget tomorrow when I think of all my sorrows. When I had you there, but then I let you go. And now it's only fair that I should let you know what you should know. I can't live if living is without you. I can't give, I can't give anymore. I can't live if living is without you. Can't give, I can't give No, I can't forget this evening or your face as you were leaving. But I guess that's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows.
So in a few minutes, I will be blessing Emile and commend his soul to the good Lord. Dans quelques instants, je vais bénir Emile et confier le repos de son âme. I guess the big question we always ask, is what happens after death? Obviously, we don't have the answer. When I accompany people in palliative care, I always get that question from patients before they pass away. And I usually use an analogy. I talk about the greatness of the universe. Yes, just within our galaxy, where planet Earth is right now, there are millions of stars. There are a lot of mysteries out there, my dear friend. Just, if you think of the universe, the greatness of the universe, so to those people who ask me what can we expect after death, I say, well, if already in this world we know a universe which is just beyond our imagination, which is just mind-boggling, I think that after death it can be a new life, which is just beyond our imagination. There are a lot of mysteries in our world. Right now, you're seated. You may think everything's stable, nothing is moving. Guess what? We're traveling right now. Jim, you said it was 164 miles, I guess, per hour. Right now, as the world, goes around, rotates around, in 24 hours, we will have gone around the world. And in 365 days, we will have gone around the sun. So right now, we're traveling roughly over 1,000 miles per hour. And no cop can give you a ticket for this one. So as we say that, let us remember, and today we're in front of a mystery. Even though we don't understand, we can't explain, we can believe, we can hope, just like in everyday's life. Life is not always easy, my dear friends, you know that. We have our good days, but we have our bad days. And sometimes we need to hope. Even if the past was terrible, we can't change the past. But we can all make a difference in the future. And this is where we need to hope. Whenever we face a challenge or a problem, we've got two options. You can hope or you can despair. Well, if I despair, my friend, guess what happens? I lose trust in myself. I lose trust in people. I lose trust in the society. And this can be devastating. Whereas when you hope, even if the past was terrible, tomorrow can be a better day. There are better things to come. So I think, everyone should face life with hope. No one should face life without hope, and no one should face death without hope. So even though we don't understand, we can't explain, we can believe that Emile is starting that journey into a world which is just beyond our imagination. And also in this world, we do our best. Nobody's perfect. Until we die, we'll never be perfect. But we can count on a God who is full of mercy, full of compassion. So to commend his soul to the good Lord, we will say the Lord's Prayer. En français, c'est la prière du Notre Père. And in English, it's the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Notre Père, qui es aux cieux, que ton nom soit sanctifié, que ton règne vienne, que ta volonté soit faite sur la terre comme au ciel. Donne-nous aujourd'hui notre pain de ce jour. Pardonne-nous nos offenses comme nous pardonnons aussi à ceux qui nous ont offensés. Et ne laisse pas entrer en tentation, mais délivre-nous du mal. Amen. So, my friends, as we say goodbye here today to Emile, we have to believe that now he's starting this journey into a world which is just beyond our imagination. In a few days, in a week, it's going to be Christmas. Obviously, Christmas for you this year will be different. This year, unfortunately, Emile will not be there physically. Christmas usually embraces two different elements. There's a religious element and a festive element. The religious aspect reminds us that almost 2,000 years ago, a child was born in Bethlehem in very poor conditions, reminding us, and that child could have been born in a castle, in a 5-star hotel, but reminding us that that birth, whether we're rich or poor, happy or not happy, in good health or in sickness, Christmas is for everybody. And fortunately for you this year, I would say to you to do something very special. At Christmas dinner table, maybe place, I don't know if you like beer or wine, place a bottle of beer, a glass of wine, a flower, light a candle to say to Emile how, he brightened your life in this world, and he continued to brighten your life even after he's gone, that this will be your way to honor his life in this world and to remember Emile. And also, as we say goodbye to Emile today, kind of reminds us how it's important to take time, quality time, for the people we love. I know we're all very busy, we all have very busy agendas, but never take anything for granted. Always take time, quality time for the people you love. Don't wait for tomorrow to do that. Hug the ones you love. Say, I love you. We all have 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes per hour, and 60 seconds per minute. Once it is gone, that time disappears and will never come back again. I can't say, yesterday I didn't use a couple of hours, I'd like to get them back. It doesn't work like that. So, my dear friends, don't wait for tomorrow to cherish the people you love. Tomorrow may be too late. Alors, mes amis, je pense que c'est important de prendre du temps de qualité pour les gens qu'on aime. And I close with this, a little story, As I say, I do work in palliative care where I accompany people who are close to death. There's a little story that goes like that. One day, a very sick patient in palliative care said to his doctor, "Doctor, I'm afraid to die. Do you know what's on the other side?" And the doctor said, "No, unfortunately, I don't know what's on the other side." The patient said, "How come you don't? You told me you were a great believer and you're a doctor." He said, "Yes, I'm a great believer and I'm a doctor, but I don't know what happens on the other side." And as the doctor was walking to leave the room, on the other side of the door, there was barking and scratching and whining, and as soon as he opened the door, his dog sprang over him and started to jump around, full of joy. And the doctor said to the patient, "My dog had never been in this room before. He had no idea what was on the other side. But as soon as I opened the door and he walked in and he saw his master, all his fears went away." I don't know what's on the other side, the doctor said, but I can tell you one thing. Once I get onto the other side, my master will be there. And that's all I need to know. So, my friends, as we say goodbye here today to Emile, let us remember now he's going to be meeting the good Lord. Not a stranger, not a judge, but a dad. We just said the Lord's Prayer. What did we say? We said, "Our Father who art in heaven." We did not say our King or our Judge who is in heaven. We said, "Our Father, our Dad." So today, when he meets the good Lord, he won't be in front of a judge. It won't be in front of a stranger. He's going to be in front of a dad who understands that in this world, we do our best. Nobody's perfect, but we can count on a God who is full of mercy, full of compassion. And I think if we could hear Emile today, he would say this: "If tomorrow should start without me, and I'm not there to see the sun rise before me, please do not cry as we say goodbye. I know how much you love me, and I know how much you miss me. Please understand that an angel came and called my name, Emile, and that my place was ready in heaven above, and that I had to leave those I love. Today my life on earth is past, but my new life will always last. Because of God's mercy and compassion, today I am now free to enjoy the place that God has prepared for me." So, my dear friends, I want to show my sympathy to all of you today. I ask the good Lord to give you the strength to go through this. And remember, He was your angel in this world, He will now be your angel in heaven. And after the song, you're all invited at the back, I guess, for a little reception. Vous êtes invités en arrière pour un petit goûter, pour continuer de célébrer et fraterniser ensemble. Bonne chance et, encore une fois, bon courage dans cette épreuve. Merci.